If you're driving, please remember to use your car's Bluetooth speaker while listening to the AM Drive. Sports talk is not worth your safety or the safety of others.
Grab your popcorn and sit back.
Jump the gun. Oh, no, give me more than that. Okay, go this way. That was dumb. We are.
How could I tell you when nobody wants to? Ill-fated words I would show.
Happy Friday to everyone in the sports universe. This is October 20th, 2023, and we are live. For Aaron Crouch, who's back, and technically I am too, in Las Vegas, Nevada, I am Michael Carvelis in Guyton, Georgia. Aaron, how you been, pal?
Overall, I've been good. Family came into town for a little while, so I kind of been away from the show, obviously, if you've been watching. But, you know, I just, the last week, I don't think I've watched a single sporting event. It's wild.
It's got to feel good, though, right, for a change?
Yeah, but isn't there something fundamentally wrong with that? What does that
For
say
this
about
show,
sports?
absolutely.
What does that say about sports, that they're supposed to be an escape? They're supposed to be an enjoyment for us. But I've actually escaped from sports, and it's been okay. Like, it's been kind of refreshing.
But is it the politics, or is it the your players that you grew up with are not there anymore?
Are you calling me old?
Well, I mean, like, I'm the same way. Like, it's kind of like you have to kind of adjust to the new regime of superstars.
I don't know if it's a combination of, like you said, the politics, the off the field stuff, the controversies every freaking week in the NFL. Like, is it a hold? Is it rigged? Is it this? It's like,
yeah.
You know, it's almost kind of eye-opening to me that, like, I didn't watch a single game for a week in any sport. I mean, you know how much I love hockey, but I didn't watch a single game in any sport, and I feel like I'm all right.
Well, we're back, and I think I only did one, maybe two shows without you, but I think it's only one. So I think we did okay. My AM Drive 5 was 2 and 3, but whatever. I'm still 2 games over 500. I'm okay.
I think had a good start to the year.
Right. Head to MikeandAaronDrive.com for the best in our shop, sponsors, socials, and YouTube. I forgot to wear my hoodie. It's sitting right here. My bad. But we have these. Ooh. Oh, just a reminder, there's a new prop for the show. Moral victories, baby.
Hashtag moral victories.
That thing was apparently some kid got this for like $1, like a pack of like 10 of these. So I got one from him.
Nice.
So Thursday Night Football, full disclosure, did not watch. I was at work, but I do know what happened in the game. How many people have clicked off by this point, do you think? You don't watch sports anymore. I didn't watch this game. Oh, I thought Jaguars were going to win. I was surprised the Saints were favored, actually. So I was happy I got a Thursday Night Football pick correct for once. But this game went about how I was expected to. Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars offense somehow scored 31, even though Trevor Lawrence only had like 209 passing yards. It was actually Derek Carr who was carving it up, which I thought he would. But it's like these two teams. I mean, Jaguars are 5-2 if that helps people, but Saints at 3-4. Is the Derek Carr experiment kind of failing if it hasn't already?
Yeah, that's a tough one. I mean, it's hard to really grade Derek Carr's performance because a lot of his scoring and a lot of the yardage came in catch-up mode, basically. I mean, they came back almost. I think they tied the game, at 24 all. So I think overall Derek Carr played a fine game. I mean, when Derek Carr was brought in, it was to kind of complete a team that was good at receiver, pretty good at running back once Kamara came back, and an excellent defense. Well, it's hard to win a lot of games when your defense is giving up 31 points at home. I really am a little shocked by this. For me, the Jaguars have gone London, back home, no bye against Indianapolis, and then played a Thursday night game, and they were still fresh as a daisy. So for me, this is very surprising to me that they were able to play as well. We bet them in the brother teaser, but I didn't feel super confident in it. And no, they came out and they impressed. I mean, Travis Etienne is looking more and more like a running back each and every week, which is surprising.
And also, it's funny, I was listening to a broadcast. Last thing I'll say on this game, because I have nothing to say about it, besides Jaguars are going to win the AFC South. This might have proved that, actually, that they went 4-0 in this stretch. Regardless, I was listening to the broadcast last week with the Jaguars, and they were saying how apparently Doug Peterson wants to get Christian Kirk more involved, because you saw a lot of Calvin Ridley targets the first couple of weeks, and they were kind of wishy-washy. Well, apparently they're now spreading it out more, getting Christian Kirk, who got paid a bunch of money last year, and they're letting Calvin Ridley come into his own. So it appears that the Jaguars have a nice balance on offense, and that's a great thing for a quarterback.
Yeah, of all the players who got targets, he was actually second to last, kept being Calvin Ridley in targets. So you're right. The target share, Christian Kirk, 6 targets, Ingram 7, Agnew 6, ATN 5, and then Ridley there with 4. You're right. They are spreading it around a little bit. I don't know what to make of Calvin Ridley, because you're right. Out of the gate, week 1, it was like, oh my God, this guy's going to, he didn't miss a beat after missing 1.5 years. And after that week 1, it seems like he is literally non-existent. So
I have to wear it just because.
I don't know why, but you lost to them twice.
Oh, you're right. It doesn't deserve the double today. That's a good point.
And your quarterback's out for the year.
I'm happy. I want to say this right now because
I'm happy. I'm so excited to have Anthony Richardson.
Of course I was, but he's 21 years old. This is the right move. Just don't force him through it. He's a very, very young player, especially for any player in the NFL. 21 is very young. And there's a reason why he was so raw. But I thought he impressed with what I did see from him, and learn how to fall will be all right.
That's a tough one to accurately grade his season is impossible. But from what I saw, really all he could do is run, and that was pretty much it. So I don't know. That's a tough one, because now you're going into I know you have the Joe Burrow injury, who he led them to the Super Bowl, but you have a guy who's now surgically repairing his shoulder, who already can't really throw.
Be nice.
He can't.
All right.
He's not that great throwing.
That's a fair point. But he did show. I feel like he can rope it more than Minshew can, obviously, just because pure arm talent. And Minshew against the Jaguars last week was brutal. But
yeah, I can't.
He led them on the field so many times.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how Minshew finishes up.
We'll see. We're right back to the AM Drive. Don't go anywhere. Aaron's tired. It's morning time over there, at least. I've waited a few weeks to do this again.
All right, welcome back here to the AM Drive and this Friday Football Frenzy, presented by our friends at Agridime. If you want the best in grilling meats this holiday season coming up, make sure you visit our friends at Agridime by going to our shop at mikeandaarondrive.com. And when you get to when you get to the shop, you'll click that link. It takes you into Agridime. Promo code AM Drive for 10% off of your order when you go in there. Add to cart times a million and get a little bit of discount thanks to your boys at the AM Drive.
And remember, there's a discount already, don't use it. Aaron's been very nice to you about that. And also, don't name the cow if you invest. It's funny I mentioned that ironically because I was talking to this cashier at Dollar General this morning actually. And she was saying how she lives on a farm. And then she was like, I want, the lady asked, the person in front of me asked her about, you should get some cheese from a cow. I don't have a cow, but I want a cow. I'm like, yeah, but that's your problem. You want the cow. You're not going to want to give them the cheese at that point.
Well, cheese is okay. You don't want to give them chuck roast.
That's a fair point, but I thought it sounded good in my head.
Did you think
I
you had to
thought
slaughter a cow?
it never occurred to me they don't chop up the cows for cheese. It never occurred to me.
Oh, I need another week.
This is right. This is why I lose those fantasy drafts about food.
That's true. Oh my God! Think about you don't have a cow and you're like, "Sorry, Bessie, I need cheese."
Right, that's right. This cheese tastes very good.
Bloody,
Right.
the bloody Gouda.
Right. Oh Lord. All right. Falcons and Buccaneers. Buccaneers are favored by 2.5. The total's at 37. Tampa Bay has been home for 3 weeks now, not the traveling to Atlanta. Although, then again, traveling from the bottom of Florida to Atlanta would have been a little bit of travel. I don't know. Fun stat about this game that I found from last week with the Lions against the Buccaneers. Even the Lions won 20-6. Did you know the Lions had 22 carries for 40 yards rushing? Aaron, question for you. What is Arthur Smith been trying to do with this Falcons team?
He tried to run the football.
And he looked very frustrated multiple times when I was watching the Falcons game last week on the red zone, which I love still. I see Buccaneers. I say this game is close because they split last season. That was with Tom Brady. I think Baker's been playing well despite a 19-37 against a decent Lions defense. I think at home, Buccaneers, I got 24-21.
Yeah, this one's tough for me to really kind of lay out. Obviously, taking out obvious bias of the equation. The Buccaneers have been bad at home.
Yeah, they both have, yeah.
1-2, and the Atlanta Falcons have been bad on the road. They're they're 0-2 technically with the London game. They're 1-5 against the spread are the Falcons, and this is within a field goal. So basically, if I'm a Falcon backer, I really kind of look at the money line in this spot because if they are keeping it close, I think they're trying to win the game here in this instance. It's got to be Desmond Ridder step up time. I know that, he's been such a Jekyll and Hyde type player. He can win at home. He can't win on the road. But it's got to figure out how to actually just win football games he's not supposed to win. And this one, obviously, he's not supposed to win. But I just don't trust him quite yet. And if he can dink and dunk to London and Bijan Robinson, and he's even got Kyle Pitts involved, right, and Jonnu Smith with a resurgence as well at tight end. I think that they have a very good shot to win this game because the Buccaneers, to me, are a very hollow 3-2. So I think the Bucs ultimately will win this game, but I think this will be very back and forth, literally in a game-winning walk-off field goal type fashion.
I like that. I like that analogy. This is why I like having you on the show because you provide those expertise. I thought it would be a close game, but I like the back and forth because you're right. Falcons aren't supposed to win the game, but it's not like they can't win the game.
Right. I think on paper they're a better offense, in my opinion.
And Drake London's getting a lot of targets too. Yeah,
despite the fact that I know Mike Evans and Chris Godwin, I just believe that in the backfield, Algier and Bijan Robinson are a far better tandem than anything the Bucs can put out, for sure. And I don't think Ritter's that giant of a step below Baker Mayfield, although I do think he is worse. But I don't know. For some reason, I may be one of the only ones in Ritter's corner thinking he's better than he actually is. But this is such a low total, too, 37.
Yeah, I was very weirded out by that as well. That's why I didn't touch that. But, if I had a best bet, I know I said Buccaneers would win. If it is only 2.5 and Vegas is saying, hey, Buccaneers are the better team, take the 2.5, why not do Falcons money line just for the hell of it?
Well, they're basically saying, if you give them 1.5 for home field advantage, which may be generous, maybe just right. So you're looking at Tampa Bay -1 on a neutral field. So you're saying Tampa Bay is just slightly better than the Falcons? I can buy that. I think the line's right where it is, right where it's supposed to be.
Why are you so good at what you do? Okay,
it doesn't make me good. I could be completely wrong. But.
This game could be the toilet bowl early gunnings for it because we've got Tim Bagent. I know he broke records in D2 college, literally not just FCS. I'm talking D2 college he played. He looks like a gamer though. It reminds me of I don't want to say Sam Ellinger because I feel like Sam had a bigger arm, but it reminded me of a guy who just kept his team in there and I didn't watch any college tape, but this is just from last week alone when he came in the game in relief out of God knows where, New Hampshire, something like that, and he played okay. The interception was horribly underthrown at the end, but I was like, he's not. He could have been a lot worse in that quick of relief time. So, unless he's been preparing for a Justin Fields departure, that could be a thing too.
Yeah,
I'm just saying. But Raiders might roll out our good friend Brian Hoyer because Aiden O'Connell was so bad in his first start that Brian Hoyer came in the game last week, wasn't much better. But to me, if Josh McDaniels wants his job, it's the classic like Todd Bowles thing. Like, yeah, we have Kyle Trask, but we also have Baker Mayfield. Neither guy's going to do anything. And so far, Baker's done well for Todd Bowles for the most part. There's a spot where Josh McDaniels, if you want to keep winning games, Bears are a beatable team. I've got Raiders who win 19-16. Give me Brian Hoyer with the Raiders.
Yeah, I think you've kind of nailed it right on the head there. I think it's going to be something like a 16-13, 20-17 kind of game, and obviously the total reflects that exact belief.
Yeah.
It's so hard to really look at Las Vegas laying points on the road against anybody with a backup quarterback. But you're right. If there's one team, it's the Chicago Bears. I mean, they have. Well, it's hard to say because Devontae is questionable to maybe not playing in this game. But if he doesn't play, then the Bears have the Bears have the best player on the field in DJ Moore. The question is, what's the guy's name? Sajent? Tim
Bagent, I think.
Bagent. Can he get him the football when it matters most? Don't forget the Bears one win. They basically fed DJ Moore a buffet of targets in that game. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it. Chicago's defense is historically bad. The Raiders' defense is better.
Right.
But yeah, it's hard to lay. I never love laying points on the road with a bad team.
So maybe 17-16?
I mean, it could be. I don't really have a play on this game, so it doesn't really matter. So I'd probably take Las Vegas money line and just eat the points at that spot.
Tyson Bagent, he's 23 years old, played for the Shepherd Rams. Shepherd, by the way.
He sounds like a creative player.
That's a great name. I like Tyson better than Tim. I'm glad I Googled that. You're welcome, people. That's why you do research before the show. Okay.
Spit hot fire.
Whoa, Browns and Colts. Oh. Hey, let me stop doing that. Okay, so you got 3-2 Browns, 3-3 Colts. Colts, by the way, have been trying for Jerry Jeudy. One of our Bring the Juice friends, actually, not the one that came on the show, but another guy, has reported that Jerry Jeudy and if the Colts really want him, and they're like, it's progressing well, but that's not about this game. I'm just putting it out there. Gardner Minshew was not good against the Jaguars, but like I said before, he kind of moved the football more than you think based on the stat line. Browns defense is disgusting, though. Winning a game with P.J. Walker, of course, which shows its point. But Christian McCaffrey, before he got hurt, had 43 rushing yards and a receiving touchdown. Very early, it felt like he was moving it well despite 11 carries for 43 yards. It felt pretty good. And I feel like if Jonathan Taylor is playing well, if what's the dude's name? Zach Moss is still running well with Jonathan Taylor. Give me the Browns 24-20 because I don't trust the Colts right now. I'm trying to take my heart out of this, but I do think Colts can keep this one closer than you think, even though it is only 3, which I think is weird.
So this is a tough one because for backup quarterbacks like PJ Tucker and things like that, it's really hard to duplicate. What did I say? Oh, Tucker. I meant Walker. I didn't mean the basketball player. For PJ Walker, it's very tough to duplicate this stuff for weeks and weeks and weeks like he did against the 49ers. I understand it's probably a battle of 2 backup quarterbacks. If Deshaun Watson comes in, this line's definitely going to move. But right now, I kind of like the Colts. I mean, Gardner Minshew is a bona fide backup. Like you said, Jonathan Taylor's getting his sea legs. Zach Moss is still fantastic right now, which is kind of ironic. But I kind of like the Colts +3 in this spot. If Deshaun plays, I don't like it as much, but I'd probably still lock it in. For me, I mean, I think this is another low-scoring type game. The Browns defense, I don't know if you've seen this. They're on a very astonishing
40-year pace, yeah.
Yeah, they're on an astonishing pace right now, only giving up 200.5 yards per game. In today's NFL, that's absolutely insane. So, all that being said, I still kind of like the Colts in this matchup. Maybe get a win here. Maybe get a sneaky win they didn't deserve.
Amen. I like the over, actually. I know you said under, but I kind of like – because I saw Deshaun Watson, the latest news from yesterday was that he was throwing 30-yard passes in practice, which helps. I forgot what he injured, though.
I thought it was his arm. Yeah, he literally is the first day he's throwing. They're coming out of a bye, and then he misses a game. So like he's been.
That's
been
what they said.
rough.
This was, yeah.
I don't know
like that.
exactly what it is.
I think Colts could give the game, though. I like that you said that because I kind of talked myself into it while I was talking about the running game, but thank you, sir. Yeah,
he's got a rotator cuff injury, so those are always tough.
Ooh. Commanders, Giants. Washington's favored by 3. Totals at 37.5. Daniel Jones is back. Get it? Because he hurt his neck, but this was not apparently as bad as they thought it was earlier. They thought it was a previous injury. Right. That's a good one. So this game was actually tied last year in December.
Mm-hmm.
If you remember, 2020. Sam Howell looks good, but you're saying, well, that's good. But Taylor Heineke last year in the same game, 275 yards passing, 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson, 96 rushing yards. And yet somehow Giants were able to win the game. Doesn't make any sense. I don't know if Saquon was available for this one either. I know the second game he was. But I got Commanders. I trust what Eric Bieniemy and Sam Howell are doing. I think 27-20. I know Giants at 1-6 would be brutal for Brian Dable, but it feels like Commanders are going to sneak out of here with a win. It's not going to be Giants are listen. You want to replace Daniel Jones? A little bit too late for that.
Yeah, this is a tough one. I mean, honestly, I think Tyrod Taylor right now played pretty admirably, obviously, against the Bills.
Tyrod's one of the better backups. Yeah.
Does that mean he's better than Daniel Jones? No, I don't think so. But I think none of this really matters with this offensive line just in shambles.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, everybody's falling apart. Is Andrew Thomas ever going to play again? I don't know.
Ooh.
I want to take the Giants with the 3 points in this spot at home, but I can't feel confident really having the Giants a ticket on the Giants. I mean, the Washington has showed, at least in flashes, that they're 2-1 straight up on the road, 3-0 against the spread. They've shown in flashes that they can play really good football. I mean, they've shown the other way too, but
right.
I'd ultimately be off that. But if I was on the Giants in any capacity, it would be a teaser. But even then, I don't know if I'd feel confident.
Yeah, because I have it of a 7-point game. The 4 gets you nothing, anyways, right?
Well, if you tease at 6 points, you're getting +9 at that point. So.
Oh, I'm dumb. Don't listen to me.
But look at all these totals in the 30s and like 40, and below. It's wild that we're in an offensive league and we've got totals in the 30s.
Shows you how those offenses are adjusting. They're not maybe very as good as we think they are.
That's what's wild.
Mm-hmm. Lions, Ravens. Remember last time these two teams played? It was in Detroit. But Justin Tucker, what was it, a 66-yarder for the record?
Right off the crossbar, yeah.
Ooh. Everyone believes in Detroit, and dare I say even me, which really scares me. I think both teams have a good defense. I think we're going to see another walk-off. Because this game is in Baltimore, I literally gave this game 24-21 to the Ravens. I think Lions defense can hang. But because, like I said, we're in Baltimore, that's a weird place to play. One of those tough AFC North, ugly, it's like the Patriots, except AFC North is all 4 of his teams are like that. Give me the Ravens to win by just 3 points.
Yeah, I'm with you in this spot. I know that everybody's jumping on the hype train with the Lions, and whether I was wrong or right, which right now I'm looking like I'm very wrong on being down on the Lions. When they leave the confines of Ford Field, they are a different team. Most cases. Right now they're 3-0 on the road. Let's flip the script here. How much I give Baltimore crap, I also give them praise when praise is due. And in my opinion, these are the games that Baltimore gets up for. They play up to their opponents. They've beaten teams that they shouldn't have beaten, and then they lose to teams that they should slaughter or keep games close against teams that they should slaughter. For me, I like Baltimore in this matchup again as well. I think so far, let's make Lamar Jackson a pocket quarterback experiment is failing. So maybe we can go back to what works. I'll say it's 28-17 Ravens.
You think Ravens? Wow.
I think Ravens by double digits.
Is this your AM Drive 5? I'm just curious.
It just fell out. No, it just fell out.
Yes, it's a marquee game. I don't like putting those in mind, but I don't know, sometimes I do, but it's a good thing to stay off it if you are putting your money where your stats are.
Yeah, I mean, it could totally blow up in my face, and Lamar Jackson has an atrocious type game, so we'll see.
Bills, Patriots. Wow, the good thing is one team's named the Bills because the other side, their poor coach. You got 6 rings, and I mean, it's bad. It's a rough stuff. Bills won this game 24-10 last season, although it was only 10-7 at halftime. They swept the season series, though, which against Bill Belichick is just, where we're at this point. Bills defense is struggling with injuries with Matt Milano and Tre'Davious White, obviously, I think both gone for the year. But Bills defense can still get it. I got Bills 24-13, still covering an 8.5-point spread. Despite the injuries, I don't see. You see a scenario where the Patriots even keep this game within 3 points? Because I don't.
The only scenario I see where the Bills or the Patriots keep this game close or win this game is, remember that time they ran the ball all but 3 times and Mac Jones threw like 3 passes? Rough. That's the only way that New England has to play keep away with this ball. Yep. And I don't see it. I mean, Buffalo's MO is we beat up on the bad teams, and this is a bad team. It's hard to say with Bill Belichick, just quickly interjecting here, is whether he's a bad coach right now or he's just an average coach all time, because I feel like the game has passed him by. Like, right. As much as I hate to admit it, you need the star receivers to protect, an average to better than average quarterback. You need the great defense to stay healthy, which they are not doing right now. Their first round pick, Gonzalez, out, Matthew Judon out. When you think you can go shop in the bargain bin and your quarterback is not, Tom Brady, you are going to have problems. So, that's a scenario where I just think the game may have passed Bill Belichick by. Like, the salary cap's expanded. You can't go shopping in the bargain bin for every key important position. Like, Mac Jones doesn't make his receivers better. No disrespect to Mac Jones. I think he's still a quality quarterback. He just needs his castmates to make him better, and it's just not happening. I mean, Juju and Devontae Parker dropping wide open balls. It's very bad right now. And Ramondre Stevenson, I mean, while he's good, he's not a superstar. Let's not kid ourselves here at this point. I mean, Ezekiel Elliott's still bogarting carries from this guy. Like, so there's a problem here. I think it's Buffalo by 1 million.
I like that. Could come my AM Drive 5, but probably not. This one actually was close to mine because I couldn't doubt against Belichick. I couldn't put the nail in the coffin just yet, but the nail was pretty. It was like a screw. It was like halfway screwed down in the coffin.
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at their record at 1-5, and I can't even remember who they beat. I think they beat the Jets, actually. I think they beat the Jets by like 3 points. I mean, they're just not a good team.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
they don't beat the Bills like that, though. They only beat the Jets like that.
Yeah, that's true. So, I mean, I think like it's Buffalo by 14. After we saw, the game against the Giants, I'm sure people are like, well, they can hang around with Buffalo being the Patriots, but I don't think Buffalo wants to continue having this question mark hang over their head. Like, you let the Giants hang around, the Jaguars beat you in London. Like, what are you? You know, this might be one of those statement games that gets them back into, oh yeah, that's who the Bills are supposed to be.
Supposed to be, yeah, that's a good point. Cardinals, Seahawks, one of those 4 o'clock games. I think Patriots Bills was 1 o'clock, right? One of the early games.
Yeah, it's an early game.
I have it written right here. I'm an idiot. Okay, anyways, this is one of the later games then. Cardinals, Seahawks, 3-2. Seahawks 1-5. Cardinals. Did you know Kyler Murray might play in Week 9? I keep reading reports. I'm like, I know you're saying, and it makes sense that they're just going to shut him down, but he's back in practice throwing the ball. Maybe Rich Gannon wants to see what he's got, but whatever it is,
Rich
all we know
Gannon.
right now, whatever guy's name is.
That's a name I haven't heard in a long time.
What is his name?
Jonathan Gannon?
Yes, yeah, the Gannon. How about that? Seahawks won this game. Boom. Seahawks won this game last year 19-9. That was with Kyler Murray. They won both games. I like Seahawks to win 24-13. I think Cardinals had their nice little run of keeping it close. And when I saw the Rams and 49ers against them, Seahawks going to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think the Seahawks take care of business here as well. Maybe even a little long teaser to get them down to a better number. But yeah, if you're the Cardinals, I think the only thing you're doing is you're putting Kyler Murray on display. Maybe you can move his contract by the trade deadline. Because if you're 1-5 right now, there should be no reason. If Kyler Murray is your franchise quarterback for next year, there's no reason he should be there this year, like playing football for a 1-whatever team. I got to give Arizona credit. They played hard, but what I tell you, James Conner's going to get injured, and he has. And they're playing Josh Dobbs is playing some inspired football, but let's not kid ourselves with this team right now.
It's crazy you mentioned James Conner got injured because I remember when he overcame cancer, so he can overcome a lot of things.
Yeah, I hadn't heard that. That's good for him.
Yeah, no, it was a great story. You should have seen it when it happened.
If there are two things I will never forget is that James Conner had cancer and you're a Colts fan.
This is true. And both are very impactful in our lives. Steelers and Rams. Well, not the cancer part, we're just surviving cancers. How about that? Rams are favored by 3. I'm going to get canceled again. And the total's at 44. Oh, my God. Steelers defense, yeah, it's good. But Cooper Kupp, in his 2 games from return, has 100 yards apiece once again, showing this team is not that bad still with the Stafford and Kupp connection. It's almost like Kupp is the MVP over Stafford, which is – did he win the Super Bowl MVP too?
That's correct.
So there you go. I'm surprised Steelers are 3-2 at this point. I think they're going to go to 3-3. I think Rams win it 23-16.
This one is in my AM Drive 5. This is an interesting one. Pittsburgh 3-2. It is a smoke and mirrors 3-2. The Rams, while I don't think they're a great team, what I've seen the Steelers do on the road here is absolutely unspeakable. I mean, their one win on the road is against the Raiders, who they needed every bit of a miracle to come back on that team. They got slaughtered on the road by the Texans here. Kenny Pickett's not showing me anything, makes me comfortable them going on the road here. This is going to be a 4 o'clock start for their body clocks. That's a late game for them. It's not one they usually are involved in here. So for me, I mean, like I said, AM Drive 5, I'm laying the 3 as well.
Yes. All right, Chargers and Chiefs. This one almost made my AM Drive 5 because I don't think Chargers can hang. I think we learned a damning thing on Monday night. Justin Herbert will never be that guy. He can be a guy, but he's like Josh Allen has shown flashes, and they both show flashes, of course, at times, but it feels like Josh Allen is like a better version of what Justin Herbert is, and it feels like Justin Herbert will always be this person. Hey, Phillip Rivers, same way.
I was just about to say that. I'm like, they just had that guy for 15 years.
Screw it again.
It's funny because you mentioned that, like right now, until he does something, I know, poke him with a stick, do something. But you're right. Like, we give crap to Josh Allen. We give crap, to Joe Burrow. But they've been to Super Bowls and AFC championship games. Like, Justin Herbert just made the playoffs for the first time and then got smoked on a comeback. He's right now he's proven nothing, and I kind of have to agree with you that he's that guy. However, I will say a lot of this struggle for the Chargers doesn't fall squarely on Justin Herbert. The Cowboys game, I might give you that one. But I actually feel like it's crazy to think all this hype for Kellen Moore. And the Chargers offense has actually gotten a little worse. Now, again, injuries. It's par for the course with this freaking team. Mike Williams out for the year. Austin Eckler missed, 2-3 games at this point. But I don't know what to make of this team ever. Like, they just keep throwing money.
Defense.
Yeah, it's another one too. Like this one for me, 5.5. This is also in my AM Drive 5. I found a better number this morning. I'm actually looking at it right now. So my AM Drive 5 is going to include the over 47.5.
Nice.
In this game. I do think we get something in the realm of like 30-27. We get a little shootout here. I think ultimately KC walks off with the victory, though.
Of course.
Chargers keep it close, so I wouldn't mind 5.5 on the road, but I'm going to take the over in this spot instead.
Fair point. There's one team the Chargers do play well against is the Chiefs because that's their Super Bowl every year, twice.
Yeah, that's true.
Packers, Broncos. This game, I'm telling you, I am stunned the Broncos are only 1.5-point dogs. Stunned, bamboozled, confused. I had 31-17 Packers. Again, I don't know what you're getting with the Broncos. I don't know anything about this. We know Jerry Jeudy's been weird. Now they're trying to trade him if that report is true with the Colts. You've got Russell Wilson and Sean Payton, who we don't even know if Russell Wilson's going to be Sean Payton's quarterback if Sean Payton even stays, for crying out loud, or keeps his job, should I say, not stays.
Mm-hmm.
You've got the Packers, who they haven't been great, but it's like Jordan Love and now a finally healthy Christian Watson with Romeo Doubs. AJ Dillon is back. I mean, like, what are we doing here? Like, what am I missing here with this spread? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I mean, I think it makes a ton of sense. Wow. on a neutral field. I mean, I'm giving 2 points for Denver's home field advantage here. So on a neutral field, you're saying Green Bay is a field goal better. I think that's right where it is. I mean, if you look at the stats, Russell Wilson actually has played really well.
I said that.
Yeah, you're right. And you look at Green Bay. I mean, let's break down the wins here. Okay, so they won a game against Chicago. Okay, that's great. Beginning of the season, bad team. All right, we'll give you that one. But I mean, the comeback against the Saints, not as sexy as it once was 3-4 weeks ago. So I don't think Green Bay is that good of a team, despite the fact that they're 2-3 in this spot. I don't want any part of this game. This game actually just missed my AM5, and I had Green Bay. But the more I started to kind of dive into this game, Denver defense historically bad, like all-time kind of bad right now. And I just ultimately was like, why do I want serious action on this game? So I ultimately stayed away, but I was leaning toward the Packers. But it's not as cut and dry as you might think.
This game's close. I'm going to come back to this on Monday and say, well, there you go, Aaron. You're right.
I think Denver can even win this game, but I don't trust them to.
Right. Sunday Night Football on NBC. Carrie Underwood lost her voice. I don't know if you heard that last time show I did.
I did see I think it was the Wednesday show or the Monday show, whichever one you did.
She'll be back.
No, that's okay. She can stay.
Aaron and I got bad news for Dolphins and their fans. Well, what's coming back of them, it seems like. I like Tua. Eagles are way more physical. They will win this game whichever way they like to. This game is supposed to be good. I want it to be good. I want Tua to perform. But my emotions aside, completely looking at this from a football standpoint, there is no way in a burning hell that the Dolphins find a way to win this game. The Eagles will have to have a bad day. I know that people are going to say, well, Eagles, they're kind of not been great, which is true, but they are built from the line up on both sides of the ball. Dolphins are a very finesse team. I think losing Devon Achane was not great, even though Mike McDaniel, the offense is really good with the movement. Screw it. You need men to win football games. This is one of those games where Eagles are going to win. I can see 30, like 27-24, something like that, but I'm going to go Eagles 31-21. I'm going to go with my gut here and say we get a double-digit victory. I don't think this game is going to be as close as people want it to be.
Eagles by double digits, eh? Wow.
Yeah. Live.
So this one's tough because I can't honestly say I give the Dolphins no shot in this game. But you're right. I think the game plan for the Dolphins has to go perfect where it doesn't necessarily have to go great for the Eagles. The Eagles may have got caught in a look-ahead game last week. I mean, the fact that they let the Jets just hang around and then Jalen Hurts made one of the most boneheaded plays I've ever seen in football history, in my opinion. I know I've seen a lot of football, but that was probably one of the most boneheaded plays. I mean, I understand how hard it is to be a quarterback, but from the angle looking as a quarterback, what the hell were you doing? There was literally two guys standing there, and you threw it right to one of them. I mean,
he was sleeping.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand that boneheaded decision by Sirianni. I know that a lot of people were saying, like, his pride just got in the way. But you had a defense that was literally shutting down the Jets. They were doing nothing, drive after drive after drive after drive, and you just gave them that football game. So I'm going to say he focuses more, plays it a little less cocky, whereas Mike McDaniel may not have that luxury. I think the Dolphins' game plan has to go perfectly. I think it's Eagles too as well, but it wouldn't shock me if the Dolphins snuck out a win because the Eagles are just continuing to like Nick Sirianni not changing his ways.
There you go. Aaron is 13-12 on his AM Drive 5. I have got a 16-14 record now, still somehow better, but it didn't help me last week playing when you didn't. Tell us about Shankit Golf, and then we'll get into our AM Drive 5.
All right, visit our friends over at shankitgolf.com. When you're over there, promo code AM Drive for 15% off. If you want to look the best while playing your worst on the golf course, make sure you visit our friends at Shankit Golf. Tell them the boys at AM Drive sent you with that promo code AM Drive, getting you 15% off your order.
For that, we're shankful. Hashtag
shankful. Hashtag AM Drive time. I'll go first here since I'm 5 games down, so our records will always be weird. But 3 college, 2 pros here. We're going to start off here with the Memphis Tigers. Getting a bad number now, but I'll live with it. I found it at 5 originally. It's crazy when I find these numbers, Wednesdays and Thursdays, and by Friday they've moved. But I'll still play the number. Memphis -6 against a bad UAB team. Army, the Service Academy, is going down to Baton Rouge to play the LSU Tigers. I'm going to take them plus 32.5 currently right now. If Army plays the game that they want to play, which is the triple option, I look for less and less possessions. Keeping it within 5 touchdowns seems like an easy task. I don't know. We'll see. USC Utah, I'm going to play the under 53.5 in this game. Caleb Williams is flawed. Very, very flawed. And now he's at the worst possible time asking for ownership in the team that might draft him. So have fun with that.
That was dumb.
So I'm going to take the 53.5 from USC and Utah simply because even if USC does score, I don't think Utah can. Cam Rising out for the year. They're just bad on offense, and they're really bad away from home. So, again, I'll take the under there. Rams -3, you guys know, and then KC, LA over 47.5.
Nice. I've got 2 college, 3 pros, and one of these is a total. The rest are spreads. Give me the Alabama Crimson Tide to cover the 8.5 at home against Tennessee. Tennessee seems like a one-year wonder at this point. It doesn't look good for them. Virginia versus North Carolina, I'm going to go over 57. Like Carolina can get,
I looked at that one, yeah.
Right. So I'm going to get that with over 57 there. I think both teams can score, especially North Carolina. I don't think Virginia is as bad as people think, even though their record's like 1-5 or whatever. They had a rough start. Seahawks to cover the 7.5 against the Cardinals. I wish it was 6.5. 7.5 is fine because I capped it double digits both ways. Rams to cover 3. Let me do Rams to do the money line against the Steelers. I'm not going to do 3. I'm going to do money line just to keep it safe because it's still under 200. I'm going to do Eagles to cover 2.5 against the Dolphins.
I dig it.
Thanks.
All right, it's good to be back here, but now we're signing off. Hope you guys enjoyed the show. Enjoy the weekend in sports. AM Drive 5, tail it or fade it. That choice is yours. We'll be back on Monday to recap the action. Of course, preview Monday Night Football between the Niners and the Vikes. Primetime Kirk. Which way do you go with that one? For Michael Carvelis, I'm Aaron Crouch saying, once again, enjoy the sports weekend. Gamble responsibly. And as always,
drive safe.
We'll see you.